Next up, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I got a phone call, and Mac always gets weird when I get the phone call.
Hey, man, it's okay.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Okay. Next up, at UFC Vegas 101, we have Ernesta Kareckaite taking on Nicolle Caliari. Kareckaite. It's not carrot cake. Okay. Ernesta Kareckaite, 5-1 in her career. Still early. 3-1-1 in her last 5. She's coming off that controversial loss to Diani Barbosa, taking on Nicolle. Nicolle's a plus 220 underdog, but she has far more experience at 10-2 in her career. 4-1 in her last 5, riding a 4-fight win streak into her UFC debut. Ernesta Kareckaite, solid striker, great footwork, fast hands, solid head movement. She throws punches and combinations instead of one at a time, and she can dance her way to a win. She does not have a ton of power, so she typically needs to fight a perfect 15 minutes to get it done. She is long. She used that length pretty well in striking exchanges, but not as well defending takedowns or working her way up. She's coming off that loss to Diani Barbosa in her UFC debut that a lot of people feel should have gone her way. She's taking
bullshit.
Was that the week? Wait. Was that the week she was the lock of the week where you had the fucking bubble machine, all that crap?
No, unfortunately not.
Mm-hmm. Nicolle Caliari, busy grappler, will take her time striking before closing the distance. She will work you to the cage and then try to drag you to the ground. Takedowns are not very good, but she does have very nice clinch work and body work. She not only ties you up, but she also launches knees and then works. When she gets you to the ground, she's very aggressive in the transitions. She wastes absolutely no time working to side control, mount, or other dominant positions. The issue, though, can be she's literally too aggressive and oftentimes will lose positions entirely because she's just so trigger happy and chasing. I want to pick Nicolle because of what's her name? What's her name? What are we laughing at? I was about to say carrot cake, Karaki. You were going to correct me. Jesus Christ. We haven't done a show together in 3 weeks. We've lost any chemistry we had whatsoever.
What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. I was laughing because you were like, I want to pick Nicolle, and it's like, I know what you want. That's why I started laughing because you paused. I was like, yeah, I know, you dirty dog.
No, I paused. I said I want to pick Nicolle because of.
Oh, Billy.
And then I was hoping you were going to say Karaki's whatever takedown defense, because Nicolle's offensive takedowns are actually not good enough is the problem. If Nicolle had better offensive takedowns, that would be a great underdog pick. I think she would come forward, get those takedowns because Ernesta doesn't defend as well, and we'd be smooth sailing to an underdog win. However, Nicolle's takedowns are not as good as they probably need to be. I think Ernesta uses that length, uses that reach, keeps his fight at distance, and just point fights her way to victory. So Ernesta's going to be a pick, but this can be an interesting fight, and maybe that plus 3.5 on Nicolle will make some sense here because she has one round where she gets the takedowns and she makes something happen. That'll look good for us. This will definitely go to a decision, so you can try to find some value there, maybe the plus 3.5 if you think it's closer than the odds indicate. But Ernesta's my pick, but I don't trust her enough to even look at the minus 260. What do you think, Heart Sweater Jacob?
Yeah, guys, you need to pay attention here. You need to listen to me because this is a Brazilian female, and I've seen the pictures too. I've been on the gram, inside and out, forwards and backwards, and I get it, guys. But you gotta listen to me because how many times have I picked against a beautiful Brazilian, which Nicolle is? I get it, right? It seems like every time I pick against one of these beautiful Brazilians, I'm right because it's so hard for me. And I promise you guys from the bottom of my heart, when I started going through her Instagram, I said, oh, it would be really fun to make a lock of the week video for her. And I literally said to myself, so then before I even watched her fight, I thought, I want to make her my lock of the week. And I was literally watching her tape and watching her fight, looking for reasons to make her lock of the week so I could make a video for her to send it to her and be like, hey, you know what I mean? And what I saw was no bueno. Okay? Angela, you know no bueno?
No, what does that mean?
What I saw was Nicolle is Hannah Goldie, right? A muscle mommy, right? Looking good in there. Has all. That's good, huh? Like that?
Muscle mommy, yeah.
She like that? That was a little giggle from Big Andrew.
Okay, it wasn't a giggle. It was a laugh.
Yeah, so she's a little bit of, she is a muscle mommy, and I get it. And she looks like a big, strong, powerful girl that's going to grab Ernesta and throw her to the ground and submit her. But she fights like Hannah Goldie as well. And you watch her striking. I mean, Hannah Goldie and her are just hands up, elbows out, just kind of like, I mean, just like, there's no like jab, there's no setup, there's no head movement with combos and uppercuts. It is very stiff striking, and she is a striker. She can do stuff on the ground, but she's not a wrestler. She doesn't really shoot takedowns, doubles, singles. If she gets you in a body lock, she's going to try and maybe drag you to the ground. But against Ernesta, who's a 125er and is probably going to have a 5, 6, 7, 8 inch or a height advantage on this girl, you can't just pick up these tall girls and throw them to the ground, even if they get in the clinch. I think Nicolle is going to struggle mightily with the range in this fight. And Ernesta, in my opinion, Deani Barbosa is 10 times the fighter Nicolle is. And as you mentioned, I mean, Ernesta arguably won that fight. And she was taken down early. We've survived that submission. We know she's tough as shit, and she has cardio for fucking days. And I just think she keeps that range and pumping strikes and overwhelms Nicolle. Couldn't even find a finish, in my opinion. But that's how much I think Nicolle can get beat up on the feet against a sharp striker. I will say, to sum it up, I pick Ernesta. I bet Ernesta. Then I went on her Instagram, and I saw that her training partner is that terrible chick that lost to Melissa Mullins. Remember, I was like, she is like the worst fight I've ever seen. That's like her main training partner. So I saw that, and I was like, oh, God. But I do like Ernesta in this.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, do you think that plus 3.5 would make some sense for Nicolle? She could steal around, being strong and
I think this is much better than the Dudakova one, because she does get strong fence. I mean, she should be at 115. She is going to be tiny in there. I know she's strong and shit, but sometimes just pure size is a little bit too much. So I mean, maybe, but I think Ernesta does not fucking stop. And if she's
she's good.
Up,
yeah,
I mean, eventually there's only when you're against the fence. When she's against the fence, it's not like cover up and look for counter. She literally just is crazy. I think she could be in trouble.
Yeah, it should be. I don't know. It should be. I think it's going to be somewhat competitive here. Ernesta is very, very good. My only issue is the takedown defense.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. But it is crazy. The fluidity, you can tell she's a fucking natural athlete, because the fluidity in her striking looks like she's been doing it since she was a kid. And I know she's still young, but she's been a swimmer her whole life, and just like, I'm just going to start doing MMA, and it looks like she's been fucking boxing a long time. Yeah.
Well, we have DraftKings fantasy pricing. We got the question from Nolian Pazik. What do 9,277,000 represent? It's DraftKings fantasy. See the little D with the crown, the word fantasy under it? You basically have a salary of $60,000. You use that money to draft fighters. You have to do 6 fighters. You have $50,000. Sorry, 50,000, and you have to do 6 fighters with that money. And then you take that lineup of 6 fighters that you drafted within your budget, and you compete against other people who have done the same thing. And if you're good, you make some money. We have a full suite of DraftKings fantasy tools. We have an optimizer that'll build lineups for you, do the drafting piece. We have a whole breakdown of the cards and who you should consider, who you should not. If we're looking at this fight, $9,200 for $7,000. Nicolle's not awful at $7,000. If there is success there with the grappling, she can score pretty well here. I think Ernesta is not worth the $9,200 because, while I do think she probably wins this fight, I don't think there's a finish. I think it's just flyer. Busy, distance striker.
Yeah, it's a flyer finish, and you don't want that for $9,200.
No, it's a lot of money to spend. On a 14-fight card, you have 28 fighters to choose from. So I wouldn't spend that side, but if you've got, if you've got a couple lineups going, or if you're using the optimizer, set the exposure setting to Nicolle and definitely get some.
Say something about exposing Nicolle.
Get some of that in your lineup. Anyway, if you want to check out the DraftKings optimizer, all the DraftKings tools, but also the bets, the picks, not just for this event, but UFC 311 and UFC Saudi Arabia, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. It's freaking $10 a month. $10. You're going to get multiple events. Best in the business.